Hey, namaste guys. It's Yogini Kala. I am so glad to be back. So I am a mystic, an entrepreneur, an artist, and creator of the In the Flow of Magic mentoring program for midlife goddesses who want to go from burnout or boredom to bliss, to a happier life. So I'm so glad you're here. And today I have my cup of tea. I'll be chatting with you a little bit, and I just want to cover the sort of implications of creativity. So I've got some green tea. By the end of it, you'll have some ideas on how to start shifting your life, and through the idea of being creative in your life. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here. So the first thing I want to just catch up a lot of you guys who I know, want to know. So I moved, it's been about 5 weeks, and my place is still a complete mess. But you can see behind me, and actually I want to bring over a painting for you guys. I had an idea, really interesting idea. Maybe I'll write a blog post about it for those who want to read about it, but in terms of how ideas come together for a creative person and how anyone can use creativity in their lives, right? I feel like it's something we're not taught. We're not really taught how to be creative. So basically, I ended up putting together the idea of the Buddha, that sort of meditating face with the eyes closed, right? Very serene, with the idea of the artist, Frida Kahlo. Now, you probably know her. There's a sketch behind me this way that I'm going to be working on because I'm going to do a series. And then also behind me, you see Billie Holiday painting, and I think I'm actually going to do another one as well of the Billie Holiday one. So right behind me, Lady Day. If you don't know who she is, you need to just Google her, okay? So, yeah, this is literally my second painting in, I want to say 10 years. I did a triptych. A triptych is just a 3-part painting. And I've shown you and talked to you guys about just a few drawings that I've done, and I was like so happy to be starting art again. I don't think that I did show this painting because I really just finished it. So I'm gonna, maybe I can get back a little bit further. So what I was doing is combining sort of the Frida Kahlo, the artist, the iconic Mexican artist, with the idea of the Buddha, that Buddha face. And so that's something I'm working on. I'm just going to put her here. And then I was drawn to start working on a Billie Holiday one right behind me on Lady Day. And I realized, like, what do they have in common? So here we can start talking about what is creativity. Creativity is something that you can use in your life, does not have to have anything to do with art. But what I see is a lot of people don't even think creatively. Okay, and to me and my best buddy, who I've featured a little bit on this channel, it's like we almost don't understand when people aren't creative, because that's just how our minds work. So, for example, like I said, with the Frida Kahlo painting, she's iconic. In terms of her look, she always had flowers in her hair. She wore specific Mexican outfits, even of like the working class and even the peasant class. This is like the 20s, 30s, long skirts, big shirts, floral prints, really beautiful. She made it very beautiful, and there are a bunch of reasons she did that. But combining what's known of her, that's pretty known, with the idea, my main idea was I want to paint spiritual paintings, so I was going to do this Buddha face, okay, because, I'm very much into meditation, and I really want everything to melt together. And yet this is what happened. This is what came out. Instead of, I tried to paint the Buddha face, and I can actually show you a big, beautiful painting, but a friend of mine came over. She said, kind of looks like you morphed with the Buddha. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, it does. Because I knew it looked too much like a person. I wanted it to almost look like a statue. Very smooth, almost like, not a specific person, but very generalized, like a painted version of a statue. And you've seen them. It's almost cliche if you kind of look at art, is this Buddha face. But that's what I was drawn to. But then as I started working, being open to a creative idea, the friend saying that looked like me morphed with the Buddha. Then I was reading a book on creativity, and then I realized, wow, Buddha Frida, Frida Buddha. oh, I want to morph those together, you know, and so anyway, just kind of let that sink in. Like so I took two separate ideas, sort of standard Buddha painting and standard like Frida, the icon, and how she looks, and she's famous for having unibrow, okay, which she highlighted. She would highlight. She didn't care. And so I put those two together. So creativity is when you have a problem, there's something, and you bring a new solution to it. Okay? So just, is there a way in your life where you can think out of the box? Okay, I hate that phrase, but it's actually really good. It's a decaf green tea. How can we think outside of the box? Because that's how you'll end up with something new and fresh. So then this Lady Day came to mind, and I think it was literally on a superficial level. My mind jumped to, you know, she was famous for wearing gardenias in her hair. Okay, so blues, the jazz singer, they weren't jazz, but bluesy too, with the flowers. And then I just really got drawn to her. I started looking at images of her, and I realized that my mind, your subconscious mind, had put the two together because they both had very difficult lives. As women, in an era was very, very difficult for them to be independent, just really extreme struggle. Both had addiction issues. One, Frida Kahlo, brought on by, you know, extreme physical pain that she was in. She was in an accident when she was a preteen, and a pole from the trolley or the bus she was on literally went through her, and just she struggled to have children. She wasn't really able to carry children to term. Her whole hip and pelvis and back were completely messed up from her accident. And this is like, I want to say in the 30s. I should know, I've read a lot about her, but I'm not really good with dates. But it was just constant operations her whole life. Many, many, many operations. She'd have to wear body casts. She would paint her body casts, and so a lot of pain she was in. Her husband was also just incredibly unfaithful right from the start. That led her to then, because he was running around with different women, he even slept with her sister. I know this is going off topic, but like crazy. And that, I think she left him at that point, and then she began having affairs. She had, you know, they were both sort of bohemian, but he really was the one that led with the infidelity, and then that caused her a lot of pain, and then she would, you know, have different lovers as well. So then Lady Day, you know, pain, she was dealing with racism. She came from a really, really tough background. I believe she briefly worked as a prostitute, like her mother as well, just very, very poor. Then she was in clubs trying to sing, and she was still very, very young. So just a difficult, difficult life, and she dealt with a lot of racism, trying to sing. She tried to sing in the South. She toured with a band and was just constantly treated as a second-class citizen, you know, overtly. Wasn't allowed to sit with the band. If they went in to eat, she'd have to go through the kitchen. She'd have to eat on the bus or back in the kitchen. Just things that were really part of daily life back then. So I realized that my subconscious, back to the idea of creativity, had seen the similarities in these women's lives, even though they're obviously very different. And that at the same time they're very triumphant and also still very, very strong, okay, and very successful in their craft. Billie Holiday in singing, and Frida Kahlo with her art. So anyway, that's kind of a series I'm working on, and so this is called Buddha Billie, because her eyes are closed. It's this idea of this, just the meditating, the going inward is somehow, you know, attracting me. So I'm working on that. So yeah, how can you be creative in your own life? Creativity is about change. If you're not creating change, you know, there's no creativity. Creativity isn't repeating something over and over. You know, you may get an idea and then want to repeat it and expand on it. But what I'm saying is, and I'm shifting, well, actually really evolving the channel to focus more on midlife goddesses who, you know, to invite you to look at your life and are you happy? And if not, what do you need to change? Okay, what can you change? What little changes? So again, here, using my own life as an example, as you know, and I will repeat my story, after being bullied severely several years ago, I was so depressed, suffering from anxiety and PTSD, I literally stopped doing art. I just didn't have any, I couldn't connect into it. I felt almost like dry, like I was just completely like withered, and just no creative, that creative well wasn't filled up. And just recently began with drawing, which is easier. It's easier for me to draw, and I love to draw, and then just adding painting now. But so I invite you to think about, are there areas of your life actually that maybe have dried up? So were there things that you used to love to do that brought you a lot of joy that you're no longer doing? Okay, this is a deep question, and I really want to move the channel in that direction to these really deep questions. And so I invite you to maybe journal on, what is missing? What do you want to change and shift? I'm all about the manifestation, all about the law of attraction. And as I started to say, with just manifesting a space where I could do my work. Now, where I lived before, I had a large space, but the way I had it configured, I was seeing clients there at home for massage therapy, and there was no space that I could really be artistic in and get a little messy. So I was able to manifest during this move, which was difficult for me. You know, I really didn't want to move, but I believe Spirit is always moving us forward to something better to help us grow. Okay? We're always being moved forward in a way that will help us grow, and even into something better. I'll say that. I really believe that. So even when I talk now about the bullying, folks write me, and you can go back and see an old video I made like 7 years ago where I talk about it, and I say, you're never a victim. Don't label yourself as a victim. You may have been victimized, but you don't want to walk around with a big V on your head for the rest of your life, right? So that is really important, to sort of put on your cape, and just say, hey, I'm my own superhero. I don't have to walk around as a victim because others have seen me that way, or maybe I saw myself that way and I was victimized. I can still move forward. I have agency as a person. That's really important. Whatever sense you have that you have some control, some power in your life, then you will actually take action. So what is it in your life that you're not doing that used to bring you joy, or something maybe that you never did but is your dream? Okay, so your dreams are important. Don't let them go. Don't let anybody take your dreams away from you. And figure out a way where you can take small steps towards your dreams. Okay, so like right now, this is not the biggest studio space in the world. And really, if I move to the biggest studio space right now, I don't know that I'd even be comfortable, right? I'm just restarting. So you can start small, start in a small way, but take those steps towards your dreams. So that's what I really wanted to say in this video, is take the steps, little baby steps, to manifesting your dreams. And so I did pull a card from the Isis deck. And the card that I pulled is the Temple of Carnelian. Okay, Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. So this is from the Isis deck, and I'll put a link below to buy it. It'll be an affiliate link, so if you buy it, I get like 25 cents or something. All right, so what this card means is, in terms of what I'm talking about today, is it's actually a very positive card, and I'm going to read you because, as I always say, Alana's, it's a really pretty thick book. For each card. It basically is a very positive card, and it says that the message is to, let's see, Temple of Carnelian. Yes, okay. You have such strength within you, Goddess. It is time to trust in your own boldness and courage. It is time to trust in your own boldness and courage. Taking risks that feel true to your heart and engaging in practices that make you feel truly and genuinely alive. Truly and genuinely alive. Embodied and more of yourself, even if not always comfortable. They are going to help you live the life you were born to live. Okay? So consider that. I really want you to resonate with this card as you're watching this video, whenever you watch this video. So this is not a time-limited message, okay? That's important to me. When you're watching this video, this is the message you're supposed to get. So it's a very positive card. It's actually predicting success. This oracle is also a yes to any question that you have been asking. Any obstacle in the way of manifestation of your desire will be cleared away. So this is about being bold, taking steps, creating the life you desire. What I'm going to go ahead and do is for members of my tribe, and I'll put the link below, I'm going to record the audio for this, an audio guided meditation for free that you'll have access to, and just click the link below for the Sekhmet meditation. And it's a really beautiful meditation, and it will be from her book. All right? So you'll hear my voice guiding you through. So check that out. If you would like a reading, the link is below. I am working still with clients, doing readings, and as well as coaching. Okay, so all the links are below. Have a beautiful, blessed week. Leave your comments. In fact, what is it that you know you want to get started in your life but that you're afraid to do? Okay, share that in the link below. Bye-bye.